Hi guys, this is LAiV Harmony micro DAC. That was one of your recommendations and many of you asked me for a review in the Gastart review comments. So thanks to the courtesy of Instal Audio, this is a local LAiV distributor here in Poland, we have a loaner LAiV Harmony micro DAC for the review here. Let's start this guy up because it looks very nice when it's powered on. Yep. It's a miniature stereo R2R, meaning resistor ladder, digital to analog converter, that had been making waves recently due to very good sound quality and moderate price. You can get yours for something like $1,388 from official distributor, links in the video description, with a full local warranty. So this guy is really small and it has a minimum set of functionalities. It's pure, clean, digital to analog converter focused on doing one thing only, but doing it right. It takes anything up to 768 kHz PCM and DSD 256 through USB input. It comes in two colors, black and silver. We have a silver version here. Both versions have gold accents, like buttons, like knob here, and like legs. And I think, judging by the photos, I might be liking black version more, but the silver one also looks very sleek and it will match any kind of silver setup that you may have. So let's talk about some numbers. The specification says that the frequency response is 20 Hz to 20 kHz, so it's basically flat. THD, total harmonic distortion plus noise, is 0.006%. Crosstalk is over 110 decibels, and it's supposed to be using Class A discrete output buffer. Okay, so this is the loaner, so we won't be opening it up. I've asked about that, and since this is under warranty, no, we won't be doing this. This is our warranty sticker here. So let's talk about what we have on the outside and what we have when it comes to the power source. Okay, so large dot matrix display. It doesn't feel whole black area, but sometimes you may be able to see the actual area with the matrix. It's very nice, it's very readable, and I really like that kind of display. We have a control knob that doubles as a switch. No, it doesn't double as a switch. We have two switches here. They have a very nice gold color. Nothing on the sides. Yeah. On the top, LAiV logo. Yep. And on the corner here, the power switch. Yeah. And the micro DAC name over here. On the bottom, we have a micro SD slot. I suppose that's for the firmware upgrades. We have a very nice legs with silicone anti-vibration pods at the ends. And in the back, we have one set of XLR outputs, one I2S input, one coaxial input, one optical input, and one USB input. We additionally have a switch for entering the firmware upgrade mode, and we also have a power socket for DC 15 volts barrel connector. When I was saying at the beginning that this device is focusing on doing just one thing but doing it right, this was one of the things that I meant. We have just the XLR outputs, meaning that internally this is completely balanced unit and it doesn't do any single-ended outs. Yes, you can use RCA to single-ended adapters. This way it will work easily because you're basically taking just a plus signal and GND, and it'll work, but this is focusing only on XLR. By the way, it's pure digital to analog converter. It doesn't have any digital or analog volume control. This rotary knob is only for controlling the menu contents. Now, let's take a look at the power. The stock power supply it's just a switching power supply. It should be capable of outputting 2 amperes, as you can see, and it's nothing to write home about. When I was doing my tests, I've used HiFi with the switching power supply, and yes, it did improve the sound quality. And I also used one of my linear power supplies. Luckily, I had one that was able to output 15 volts, because bear in mind that this takes not standard 12 volts, it needs 15 volts. That's how it starts up. With the music playing, we would have the frequency information here. Obviously no volume info, because it's not a volume control. So right now we are switching the inputs. If we want to enter the menu, we need to press this button. Yep, a couple of, yeah, yes, that was this, yeah. And we have a set of options. I won't be going through all of them because these are described in the manual, so there's little point. But I wanted to point one thing: remote. Harmony micro DAC comes without a remote, and there's a good reason for that. A couple of good reasons. The first one is that you can buy remote separately, and this is actually a proper HiFi remote made of metal. That was the second reason. And the third reason is that micro DAC would use only the input switching functionality from the remote, because obviously you cannot control the volume with this device. But that's fine, but this also means that you do not need any kind of remote. If you're using one input for most of the time, like it's with most of the guys using digital to analog converters, then you'll be fine without any kind of remote for your digital to analog converter. Now, we are not able to take a look inside directly by opening the device, but we will be able to take a look at the photos that are provided by the manufacturer. And I wanted to show you something. No, we need to scroll. Yeah. The first thing, the output buffer really is discrete. Those are all SMD elements, but they are working as well as regular ones. Let's move by. Yeah, those are resistor ladder modules. They are protected with this metal shield, both of them. And as far as I know, as far as I've seen, those are the same modules that are used with fully blown Harmony DAC, so the larger brother. Yes, another interesting thing is that there is a galvanic isolation between digital and analog parts. It's a very good thing because it prevents the noise coming from the digital part, especially if you're using USB with your computer, from entering the analog part. Now, what else I wanted to show you? Give me a second. Not this one, not this one, not this one. No, this one. Yeah, this one. It says about femto oscillator, but interestingly, the device is using internally Intel Altera FPGA to control the whole device. So that's about it. One more thing, the clock. The clock is AccuSilicon AS318. That's quite a popular device, and it has very good opinions. It's very reliable and very precise clock. Yes. So, a couple of more things. The first one, yes, you can buy DDC produced by LAiV, digital to digital converter, and you can use it with this I2S input. I was using my Singxer SU6 for those tests, and yes, using external DDC does improve the sound. And the second thing I wanted to show you before I get to the sound quality is this. I never do unboxings, but I have to admit that this is single best unboxing experience that I had in my life when it comes to the audio gear. This is one of the 3 boxes that the device is packaged in, and you open it like that. You have a very nice welcome letter here. and the device is here under layers of black foam, and I can just imagine how the black and gold one will look with something like that. So it's a very, very nice box, and it's so good that I wanted to show you how it looks. Yeah, but having that out of the way, let's focus on the digital to analog converter. Yes, let's talk about the sound quality. You may remember that in many comments when we were discussing different things under my videos, under my reviews, I was talking that some time ago, last year, I owned Gastart R26 resistor ladder. R2R digital to analog converter. R26 was riding a very large wave of hype, and I bought it hoping for it to replace my X26 Pro, but I got burned because, yes, it had a great imaging. Yes, the timbre of all instruments, the timbre of vocals was excellent, but it also had a very high noise floor, and it also lacked micro detail. And this way I've learned that R2R digital to analog converters are probably not my story. But this guy changed this. I can say, I can joke that it, in a way, it healed my wounds. But let's talk about the sound quality now. The bass. The bass with LAiV Harmony micro DAC is really good. It's highlight for the whole review. It's deep, it's very detailed, it goes really, really low. And at the same time, it's very clear and clean. And yet, it's very organic with excellent timbre and texture. It's neither fast nor slow. It lingers for just right amount of time. I loved all tracks with contrabass lines, cello lines in the back. Also, the lowest piano notes had excellent depth. It's definitely warm and organic, like you would expect from R2R digital to analog converter. It creates superb foundation for all of my test tracks. Now, mid-range. Let's start with vocals. Again, the first thing is that they are natural and have a very good timbre. They sound organic and there is no sibilance, no listening fatigue. They are very natural, but as long as detail level in mids is good, it's just a little below Delta Sigma converters that I'm used to. Having said that, timbre is just excellent. And for example, I loved Crockett's Theme by Jan Hammer, as this digital to analog converter is one of the few devices that are able to get right that warm, smooth flow of music. That track is one of my test tracks, not because it's, I don't know, super advanced or it's having tons of micro detail or super imaging. The thing is that if the device is able to get, yeah, that was one of my speakers. If the digital to analog converter is able to get the timbre right, then you can feel, let's say, hot, humid Florida night. If the device like digital to analog converter or amplifier is not up to the task, then the track will be dry. It will be fine, it will be rhythmic, it will be fun, but it won't have that emotional load. And with this guy, this track is as good as with Kane Tube amplifier, so which is basically the best price I can give at the moment. Now, moving on to treble. Treble is very good. As you know, I'm an Alexostat lover, so I can appreciate the good treble when I hear it. We have air, we have transparency, but it's also very smooth, very clean and relaxed. However, there were times when I wanted a little more speed, a little more zing at the top end to make it a little more spicy, if you know what I mean. But for the most of my tracks, For the most of my tracks, anything acoustic, anything jazz, anything classic, anything pop, anything dance, anything hip-hop, R&B, rock, everything was fine. Just a couple of metal tracks that I wanted to have a little more zing in the top end. They should be bitey, they should be spicy. They were more civilized with LAiV Harmony micro DAC. Which can also be a compliment, depending on the music genre that you're listening to. Now, let's talk about the technicalities, detail. Remember that LAiV micro DAC is R2R resistor ladder digital to analog converter, so it's not as detailed as my Gastart X263 or X26 Pro, and it will never be. You do not get R2R digital to analog converters for detail. But having said that, it easily bests R26, Gastart R26 that I owned some time ago. Actually, I am surprised by the amount of detail this little guy is able to dig from my recordings. Yes, it's not Delta Sigma Sabre level, but it mops the floor with R26. And that says a lot, because Gastart R26 was twice the price when it was entering market, and it's still very renowned in some circles. There is a ton of people that still love that digital to analog converter. So I think that the most detailed part of the frequency band is treble. The treble here is more detailed than mid-range, if that makes sense to you. And that's a little surprising to me, because in my experience, it's usually the other way around. In my experience with Delta Sigma converters, it's easier to get mid-range vocals and stuff like that, more detailed than treble. In this case, with LAiV Harmony micro DAC, the treble is slightly more detailed than mid-range. Yeah, now let's move to the soundstage and imaging. The soundstage is neither super wide and it's not super deep. It's just right. But imaging within that soundstage is very good. Every instrument has well-defined location. Also, center image is rock solid. Sound images are not etched, they have natural boundaries, so even if the soundstage isn't opera-sized, it's very good imaging that we have here. And yes, that was one of the things that were mentioned in other reviews. That was one of the things that LAiV digital to analog converters are known for. Excellent soundstage, excellent imaging. And also, these are the traits of well-executed resistor ladder digital to analog converters. Now, there is a couple of things, there is a couple of loose thoughts that I wanted to share for my summary. The first one is the size. It's amazing that all of the sound comes from so small box. I don't know if you can see that. That's my hand. This is basically the smallest digital to analog converter that I currently have, do not counting some very small SMSL units that are like box of matches. But when it comes to the fully blown real HiFi equipment, this is actually the smallest digital to analog converter that I have ever owned. And it works wonders. It's very well built. It has very minimalistic design, but the materials used here are first class. This is CNC machined aluminum. This is unibody design, one block of aluminum that spans all across the sides and the top with logo here. It's a very high quality build, and everything, knobs, buttons, legs here, are screaming quality. I've done my review with stock power supply and USB connection, but I also tried using, as I've said earlier, one of my linear power supply units and I2S input from my Singxer SU6. And yes, both do improve the sound quality. Just remember that Singxer is basically the same price as LAiV Harmony micro DAC, so maybe getting Singxer as a source for micro DAC may make little sense, but definitely get a linear power supply or something like HiFi. That's basically a supercapacitor filter that you're plugging between your regular switching power supply and your unit. Getting those makes a lot of sense because they are not as expensive as DDC and they improve the sound dramatically. The second thing is the bass quality. I think this is the star of the show. It's excellent both when it comes to quality and quantity. I wish all digital to analog converters and amplifiers I am testing had bass like this, as good as LAiV Harmony micro DAC. And the last thing is the obvious question. Is it better than my Gastard X263 Delta Sigma digital to analog converter? And the answer is that no, it's not. X263 is twice as expensive and it has super power supply built-in and analog stage, so the comparison is absolutely not fair. But having that in mind, this is the best R2R digital to analog converter I have tested so far, and it easily beats R26 that was all the hype not so long ago and still is more expensive than this guy. If you're in a market for a Gastard R26 and you're looking at the second-hand units, stop. Just get this guy because it will be cheaper than a second-hand Gastard R26 and it will also be better. Yeah, and brand new. Okay, so I think LAiV Harmony Micro DAC is a very good device considering its price to performance ratio. Also, you can push it even further with linear power supply and maybe external DDC. Yes, external DDCs are quite expensive and getting DDC just for micro DAC may make a little sense now. But in my experience, I got Singxer a couple of years ago now, and I've been using it with every single digital to analog converter I got later that had I2S input. So basically, this is one-time investment that will pay off throughout the years. And it does help with the sound quality of micro DAC. So, again, thanks for Instal Audio for loaning this device for my tests. You can get one from the guys and I will link to the store in the description of the video. You can, if you are based in Poland, if you are based in European Union, you may get one here with full local warranty. I hope you liked this video. I hope you liked this review. If it helped you in any way, you're more than welcome to support my channel by buying me a beer. And yes, the beer money goes towards beer. And you can do that using PayPal link down below in the comments. No, not in the comments, but in the video description. Or via PayPal Super Thanks button that's found down below. If you have any questions, give me a shout in the comments. Any links in the video description. Also, my test system setup details in the video description. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you liked this small video. I really hope it helped you in some way. And have a great day. Have a great day with your music. See you next time.